Hi guys, my name is Vishwarup Shahu and today we are once again back with our new podcast video which is on MS in Germany. And today we have our special guest Miss Pooja Poshak and Mr. Satyaki Chatterjee. So Pooja and Satyaki, first of all, thank you very much for joining in this video and you can start by telling about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Pooja Boshak, as rightly introduced by Vishnu. And right now I'm studying in FAU, Frederick Alexander University, and staying in Erlangen.
No.
Yeah, and same for me. I'm Satyaki Chatterjee, and I'm currently studying also in FIU Erlangen in Nuremberg in the Erlangen campus, and I also live in Erlangen.
Great. So this video is going to be very interesting and please watch it till the end. So let us start the official podcast video. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Pooja and Shaptaki, for joining us in this video. So we can start this podcast by introducing, you have introduced yourself and you can tell us about your profile. So Miss Pooja, you can start it. And so what you have done in your
So,
bachelor's and your GRE or IELTS
so,
score if you have given them.
so bachelor's I have studied in St. Thomas College of Engineering and Technology, and my stream was electronics and communication. So after studying there for 4 years, and I joined in a core company, and worked there for 1.5 years, almost like 1.5 years in Hitachi Dale STS. And after that, I decided that I found my life too stagnant there, and I felt that I should like pursue more into my passion was more towards this medical engineering domain, which I'm pursuing right now. Therefore, I decided that I should like work on that more rather than continuing my job. So appeared for the TOEFL exam, which is a mandatory, even though they are it's like a platform for you to first a gate for you to first step in into any university in Germany, and I cleared a TOEFL with a score of 105 upon 120, and then I started applying to universities,
Mhm.
and I had got into other universities like OVGU, TU Wilmina, and this was one of them, FAU. So FAU was one of my like first priority because of many seniors whom I know, and most importantly, it's a premium institute. So in when it comes to seeking a loan, it would be much easier. So I s- got into FAU medical engineering, and that's it. I started my journey here from July 2020. Like I stepped into Germany for the first time last year in the month of July, and since then I have been here.
Oh,
And right
that's
now I'm in
great.
my second semester.
Oh, that's really nice. Mr. Shatiki, you can also continue.
Yeah, so for me, I can say I am sort of an old guy to start my master's. So I graduated from the same St. Thomas College of Engineering and Technology, which is
Okay.
affiliated under Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology, West Bengal. So I graduated in the year of 2016, and after that, I joined an IT company, Cognizant, and I worked there for 32 months. So after that, I started my journey here. To say about profile, I had, yeah, like a sort of decent grade to get into any program that matches my bachelor's program, like 1.7 in German grade convention. And along with that, I had some internships, some certifications, some project certificates from Texas Instrument, and as well as one publication in Springer.
Oh,
So
that's
along
great.
with these things, I cleared the TOEFL exam with a score of 105. And with this profile, I applied to many universities. Uh, Apart from RWTH Archi and Data Science, I didn't get admit over there, but I got admit from FAU Erlangen, Nuremberg's ASC, which is Advanced Signal Processing and Communication, which is the course I'm pursuing now. and also I got an admit from communication and multimedia engineering from this university as well. And along with that, I got admit from TU Munich in communication engineering.
Wow.
And as well as TU Darmstadt in information and communication technology. So out of these four, I chose ASC, and this is what I'm continuing now. Right now, I'm in my third semester.
Oh,
I joined
that's
here
really
in
great.
winter 2019. Yeah.
That's really great. Your profiles are really good. You know. Okay, so now we are going to continue with why you chose Germany after all. Means you could have chosen USA or Canada because many people choose it. So
So I'd like to answer that question. So first of all, the first constraint when it comes to pursuing higher education in some abroad countries is the financial condition. Like when if you talk about US or Canada, like you will have always have a burden of 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, even higher, 50 lakhs, depends upon how much scholarship you will get in the university.
yeah.
But here in Germany, the best thing is the universities which are public universities. That means governed by the state government of that university. Those have no tuition fee, like literally zero tuition fee, and therefore the only cost which involves is the living expenses and some basic semester contributions, which include your transport ticket as well. So that's why, like, I mean, it would be very cheaper. That was the first option. And secondly, I mean, choosing Germany, you can say, like, the secondary reason was I mean, from my point of view, I can say, like, since I have worked in IT companies, I am accustomed, I know about the work culture of US based companies and UK based companies, also European based companies, because I have worked with foreign clients. So I found the work culture of European based companies to be, more employee friendly, as well as they give you more liberty when you work. It's not that they will just direct you to some directed path and that's what you have to do. You will have a liberty to explore. So that was also a reason. That's why I chose Germany. And also
Okay.
it is like the leading economy of the European Union. So that was an automatic among all the European countries.
Wow. And nowadays we have also seen that many US companies of US are going to Germany. Like Tesla has made its gigafactory in Berlin, and they are also going to make their second gigafactory there. So it's really getting much more bigger and bigger in terms of industries and all.
Mhm.
Yeah. So can you tell us about your major currently in which major you are studying? Ms. Pooja, you can start it.
Yeah, so I'm studying in medical engineering, and the specialization is in medical image and data processing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Sataki, you can also tell us about it.
Um, Actually, there is no such major in my course structure,
Okay.
because it is already a very specialized domain, like advanced signal processing and communication.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, you have to study signal processing related subjects and communication related subjects. But it depends, like, what's your course of interest. Then you can you can either take some electives in signal processing area or in communication area. That's completely up to you. So in that way, I can say, like, there are two majors. One is signal processing and the other one is communication.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. So as you both told us that you both are pursuing your masters from FAU Erlangen-Nuremberg, right? So can you please tell us that why did you prefer this university over all other universities that you got admits from?
Okay, so I'd like to answer that. So there are, like, lots of reasons. The first reason is being like every year Reuters publish one report of the most innovative universities across the whole globe. Okay, and in that category, FAU last year came as the second most innovative university in Europe, while
Wow.
first was the KU Leuven, and the
That's
second
like
position was
Arizona State
FAU.
University in USA.
Yeah,
Because they are
like
the most
the
yeah.
innovation index, right?
Yes.
And according to Innovation Index, it is, I mean, it is thus the most innovative university in Germany. Is one reason.
Wow.
I mean, that clearly depicts how much they are focused towards research, industry collaboration research, and academic researches as well, and in different dimensions. So, like, these are the reasons which had made it the most innovative university. And also, like, the course structure. I mean, for me, see, I got an admit from TU Munich, like, which is in the electrical engineering domain. It is like ranked 20 in the whole world. But still, I chose this university because of the course, because I did not want to, get into the domain of communication engineering. My subject of interest was signal processing and machine learning related stuff. So I chose course structure over the university brand. That's why I chose this university.
Oh, that's really
Great.
great.
Miss Pooja, you can tell us about yourself too.
I chose, he has rightly explained, like when he's the one who introduced me to German universities, because when I took the decision, it was all of a sudden. So I didn't have much choice. And when I got to know about this university from him, being the second most innovative university, and Erlangen is considered to be the medical valley. So the course which I am pursuing right now will have a lot of weightage in this area. Like they are going to put a lot of importance to what I'm studying, and we have a lot of industries here like Siemens Healthineers, whose headquarters are located in Erlangen. So FAU couldn't have been more better. Like there couldn't have been a better university than FAU. This is one of the primary reasons, and one he has already stated, being the second most innovative university. And third is, to be very honest with you, among all the universities that I have got, this was one of the premium institutes. So, like, I was much into, like, yeah, I'm going to get into this university. And fourth reason is there are a lot of, it's at the end of the day, when you look back and you want to sit with people, I had got a lot of acquaintances here I could connect with, not only in a personal level, but also when it comes to education, studies, and projects and group discussions. So this is a place where I had a lot of people who could help me out, and that is it. That is the reason why FAU couldn't have been, like, this was the best university I could have thought about amongst all.
Great. So most of the students who are aspiring to study masters in Germany are having a doubt, like, is it necessary to learn German language to study masters in Germany? Is it a
No,
rumor or a
no.
fact? Please clear us.
It's a big, it's a myth, rumor, what you can say, because I had zero level proficiency in German.
Uh-huh.
Like, in fact, like, yes, you will need German only if the university you're going to has German taught courses in it. But
Okay.
if your university is English taught, then there is absolutely no need for German. And in my case, I had done one thing. I had enrolled in the German classes, which gives you points, marks also, ECTS mark for points, to add it to your grade sheet, and at the same time learn also. So why not stay here, imbibe with the culture, and learn the language rather than staying somewhere in a foreign place? Like, I wanted to learn the language more as imbibe
Being a
myself into
localite,
it.
you wanted to be
Exactly.
a
Like,
being a
I didn't
localite.
want
Yeah.
to learn it for the sake of learning. So it is better if you learn the language coming here, until unless it's mandatory or necessary for you. There is absolutely no rule for you to know the language beforehand and come. And yes, once you start graduating, like, the more you move towards industries, then it is desirable that you learn language, you know the language, but there is no hard and fast rule. They say it's desirable. So but
Okay.
there is no such, but the entry is not restricted to learning German. That is what I can say.
Okay.
Okay.
So students should prefer to learn the language, right? The preferred thing should be to learn the language. It's not
If
necessary.
they want to learn it for, if that they want to learn it for the sake of learning, that's fine, but not with the mindset that they need to know the language for the sake
Okay.
of
Uh,
entering Germany or securing a position in any university in Germany. That is not required.
Great.
So why do you choose the major? Means why you have chosen advanced signal processing?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it dates back to my works during my college life. So during my college life, as I told you, like I had done a project under Texas Instruments competition, which was absolutely based on image processing and signal processing. And also my bachelor's project, final year project, was based on speech recognition.
Okay.
So, and also that involved artificial neural networks. So my domain of interest had always been a blend of AI and signal processing, and that's why I have chosen this major in my master's program.
Oh, that's really great. And Miss Pooja, why you chose your master's in medical image processing?
Because this was interesting for me because I haven't like I had been into more avid interest. I had an avid interest towards this image and data processing techniques, but focusing it in the medical domain was something which I hadn't ever heard of in India, back in India. So I wanted to explore this here, and I had an affinity towards medical subjects, and biology was one of my favorite subjects back in school. So this stream allowed me to have my I could stick to my dream of inculcating biology, medical topics, and at the same time the physics involved with it, which I had used in engineering, the engineering background. So that was blended into this stream and made into a beautiful subject altogether. So that's why this was my first choice.
Okay, that's really great. So can you tell us about the cost of your studying in Germany?
Yeah, in general, I can say like I mean has changed in past 1.5 year. So one thing is that you need to show a blocked account to ensure that you have enough funding for your living expenses. Blocked account for 1 year, and that is now in my time it was 8,864 euros. Currently, it is some around 10,261, and like that's the total living expense that you have to show to the German consulate while getting a visa. But also along with that, you have to pay the semester contributions. It varies from universities to universities. For some universities, it is somewhere around 200 per semester. For some universities, it's something around 250 per semester. In
Okay.
Bavarian universities, the semester contribution is a bit less. So in my case, I have to pay like something around 120 euros per semester. So that absolutely varies. So that now you can do the math, like somewhere around like, for if a student tries to come right now, then it will cost him somewhere around 11,000 euro in paper. But he might not even use the blocked account, because in Germany, students always have an opportunity to work as a part-time employee in industries, in the universities, and the salary which they get from there is good enough for their living expenses. So the blocked account money, if somebody starts earning, I mean doing the job from the first semester itself, then the blocked account money, that some sort of remains untouched.
Wow. Means it's a 120 euros is same for both of you. And
Yeah.
in your course also it's a 120.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because in USA, the cost of studying is very much high. And so it can cross the 50 lakhs easily.
Yes.
Compared to US, it is very, very cheaper. So you can tell us about your course structure. Anybody can start.
Yeah. So the course structure, mine is specialization in medical image and data processing, and it consists of mandatory elective modules, a project. So in mandatory module, you have to clear, like it is mandatory as the name suggests. So you have to clear it by before you start your thesis. That is what they say. And in my structure, course, there are 3 mandatory subjects. One is pattern recognition, another is like optical technology in anatomy, basics of anatomy, and the third is pattern analysis. And then along with that, once you clear that, you are like safe. Yeah, I've cleared the mandatory. And there are elective subjects in various domains like image and video compression in the image video domain, and also in the machine learning domain, like machine learning in time series, or even in the medical domain where you can do diagnostic medical image processing, where using the various modalities, how you do the acquisition, the reconstruction, the processing, pre-processing and post-processing. That is one subject you have. There are a lot of subjects like that where you can, like, they are very much dynamic. They give you a lot of freedom. They give a lot of freedom to the students to choose subjects as per their interest, convenience. Like, is more interested in the signal processing domain, they have subjects towards that. If one is more into the image and video domain, they have subjects towards that. Not that it's not narrow, it's very much widespread. That's all about my
Okay.
course.
To say about my course structure, it consists of also like mandatory modules. I have like 5 mandatory modules. Apart from that, the best thing about my course is that it's called an elite master's program, which is like Elite Network of Bavaria. And these courses have more focus towards research and hands-on experiences. So like in my course, apart from thesis, I have 2 projects of like 15 credits and 10 credits out of 120 credits. And also like there are seminars and all. So like my course is basically, you can say 50% towards the theoretical work. And those theoretical work basically consists of subjects according to, I mean, your electives, which you choose. They can be in the domain of signal processing, in machine learning, deep learning, in the domain, they can be in the domain of communication if you choose that. And 50% of the effort, the course load, goes towards these projects and thesis and seminars.
Well, that's really great. And can you tell us about some internship opportunities that people get?
Yeah, to speak about internship opportunities, like it all depends whether, I mean, it is mandatory in your course. In some courses, internship is mandatory. In that case, companies, they allow, I mean, like, since there are lots of students, the competition is also very high. So companies usually prefer those students who have the internship as a mandatory module in their course structure. Okay. If you don't have that, then sometimes, like in my case, and so far as I know, in medical engineering as well, like you can replace one of your projects or both the projects with internship.
Wow.
I mean, it depends upon you what you want to do. So that's it. Like to talk about the internship opportunities, I mean, I can come back to that point later regarding the industries. But yes, if you have these things in your course structure, like projects and all, you can replace them with internship.
Okay, that's really great. And the same goes for you, Miss Pooja.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
It's
So,
optional, like either you can do project or you can do an internship.
okay.
Up to you.
Yeah, so I have also seen that there are many students who gets into university with lower credits, but they had to do a mandatory internship so that they can cope up with that credit, the remaining ECTS points. Is there something like that?
No, as such, like in our case, like as I told you, like if the internship is, I mean, if you are being offered with some credits in form of internship, then it's easy to get the internship in the companies. Then the companies will consider you as a very serious applicant. But even if you don't, then also you can apply and you can get internships. Then you have to talk to your course coordinator whether you can credit that internship as some credits in your total curriculum.
Okay, now I got it. Okay, so what type of other things students do in the universities apart from these academical things? Means there are a lot of things like opening a organization or a club, just like that. So you can explain it.
like apart from studying, like from my experience the last 6 semesters, I've seen people, you know, getting involved in the students representations and the student representations of different departments as well. So they organize usually, you know, parties, lunches, and but these things are not happening these days because of this
COVID-19.
coronavirus.
That's why I'm sure I'm keeping my mouth shut because I have no idea what happens other
Yeah,
than study
that's
state.
something.
Yeah,
Because I didn't experience any of these things.
and also like
But you have
the
a really
university.
great experience with COVID-19 because I think you joined
Yeah,
your college during the time of COVID-19 when it was in the
exactly.
peak.
We'll come to that later,
Yeah,
how it
the next
was.
question is going to about that itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like I was continuing. So basically, sometimes the departments they organize excursions like trips.
Oh,
For example, in
nice.
my case, in my first semester, yeah, I went to Bamberg with the cost of university,
Wow.
and also yeah, it was a day trip, and also initially like the university took us to Nuremberg for a 3 days seminar, but the stays and the meals, I mean the lunch and dinner and snacks, everything was sponsored by the university. And it depends upon different departments. Each department has different sort of fundings, and according to their fundings they act. So yeah, but in general all departments go for this sort of trips.
And after all, it's
Wow,
Europe.
sounds
It's
great.
full of scenery and views. So, can you tell us about any funding or opportunities that are given by the university?
Yeah, so actually in my course, there is an option like when you get the admit to the course, along with that, you can receive a letter from the university itself where it states that the university guarantees you with a part-time student job, like a position of research assistant during your studies, through which you can earn 853, no, not now, like right now it's 861, the rate has changed. So right now you can earn 861 euros per month by working as a research assistant for 19 hours weekly. And that will
Oh,
change,
that's
that
great.
can change according to how much hour you put in, whatever. Like with that letter, you don't need any sort of blocked account to apply for the visa, because blocked account is mandatory when you apply for visa. But if you
Yeah.
show this letter to the consulate general of Germany, it applies to all consulates across the whole India. They won't ask you for any blocked account. This letter is good enough.
Okay. So, did you get any type of this type of scholarship right now?
Yeah, I mean, initially used to work as a research assistant in the area of music processing. So I didn't work for 19 hours weekly. I used to work for 15 hours weekly
Okay.
because the salary with that was good enough for my living expenses and even more than that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. And Miss Pooja, we know that you came to Germany during the time of COVID-19 when it was in peak. So, can you tell us about your
Yeah.
experience?
So everything was going fine from applying and everything, getting the admit, everything was going fine. But everything again also went haywire when the COVID cases started rising in India. So they went for a strict lockdown, and that had a huge impact on my on me getting the visa on time. So like if such a thing happened that after repeatedly chasing the consulate, they finally sent me the approval. But then again, that visa approval is good for nothing until unless you get it stamped and you can travel to Germany. So that was stopped because all the international flights at that time were not operational. In that case, I had to do a lot of work, which includes mailing my professors and also my course coordinator to send me a letter which asks for the physical presence in Germany, because the exams here, though um, the lecture was online, the classes were online, but the exams are offline. You need to be physically present here in Germany for the examination. So I requested them for a physical presence certificate. I also mailed the border police of Germany that is there any problem with me traveling in this situation? Will I be barred from entering Germany? So they sent me a list of documents which included one, the physical presence certificate, and secondly, that I have an apartment here. Like I don't need to come here and search for it. So what happened is that even though I wasn't physically present here, after securing an apartment in my name, until and unless I could make it to Germany. So that was like I was paying for something which I was not using for like 3 months almost. And then while traveling, it was also not an easy, like it was not a smooth journey for me because of a lot of things. Like Kolkata had at that time not like they have completely restricted all kinds of flights from the major COVID, like the cases where the COVID case, I mean the places where the COVID cases were rising. Example, Mumbai and Chennai, Delhi. So the direct flight which I had towards Mumbai was cancelled. So I had to like again book a flight towards Jaipur, and from Jaipur I had to take a flight to Mumbai. And then since the connections were all disrupted, I had to stay in the airport for 12 hours in a pandemic situation. And then
Oh my.
finally, lot of like they were checking a lot of documents, starting from physical presence right in the like at the airport. They were all checking the documents, and it was a big like I had to keep my fingers crossed until and unless I could do my immigration in Frankfurt. And when finally it was done, I was like relieved, yeah, I made it to Germany. And after coming here also, like everything like here, though everything was open at that time, but things weren't operational in 100% capacity. So when it comes to getting my residence permit, I had to wait for a long time, though it if everything happened finally to my favor. But when it comes to the time consumption, that was a bit different than what the normal cases usually it used to be.
So we all know that for masters in Germany, there are two options, right? Thesis and non-thesis. So which one did you prefer for?
So in my course, thesis is mandatory. Courses which are
Okay.
of 120 credits in Germany, they all have thesis as a mandatory thing.
Same for me also.
Yeah. So, but there are courses which are of, regularly designed for 3 semesters, like 90 credits, where thesis is not mandatory. And I mean, it depends. Like people say, like it doesn't matter, but what I have felt while contacting with the industries here, your thesis plays a huge role in your next step after your masters. For example, if you want to go for a PhD, your thesis completely determines which line of PhD you will choose after your masters, like which area of research you will choose. Also, if you do your thesis, I mean, there are two options. You can do your thesis in university, or you can do your thesis in some industry as well. So if you do your thesis in any company, for example, in our case, let's say Siemens or Dell or Fraunhofer IIS. So, I mean, there is a good amount of probability that you get absorbed after successfully completing thesis from there. So after masters, you can be, I mean, there's a good chance you can be absorbed there as a full-time employee. And also, like if you have a good thesis from any company or a good thesis from the university, then that gives a good weightage on your profile when you apply for a job as well. So
Okay.
it's not that you will be entitled to some service-based job after your completion of your masters, like in our fields, like specifically talking about AI and all. So in maximum jobs are basically research oriented. So they will check how much you are compatible with the research environment and related works. Then thesis plays a good weightage.
Okay. So please tell us about the housing scenario in Germany. Like there are two types of housing, right? On campus and off campus.
No, we don't
So
have any on campus here. It's fully off campus.
Nothing is such
So
in
yeah,
Germany,
yeah.
actually.
oh,
So You have to have your own, like, search for your own accommodation. Right now, if I have to say, I don't want to, like, sugarcoat this about this thing. It's very tense here, considering the pandemic and the lockdown that Germany is going through. So any newcomer, they have to be mentally prepared to have, like, the prices are flaring up quite high because of the huge demand right now. So the situation is not that good. So you have to be,
Mhm.
like, flexible about the price range and everything. You cannot keep that in that what was there 5 years ago. You cannot just point why this was so cheap back then, because everything is changing right now. The situation has changed. So based on that, I can say, like, the housing scenario is pretty tough, like,
Okay.
tense, I can
Yeah,
say.
but in general, I can say like it's like there is no as such on-campus accommodation. There are like two types of main accommodations. One, there are some accommodations which are in collaboration with the university, which are
Mhm.
basically, you know, student dorms or student apartments or student housings, where usually you have your own bedroom, but you have to share the living room and the washroom
Kitchen and
and the
washroom.
kitchen, so with other students. But usually you can also have your own bathroom and kitchen, depends upon how much you're paying. So getting those accommodations is a matter of luck. For the first semester students, they have it as a privilege, because
They are given a lot of priority.
yeah, the
Yeah.
universities help them a lot to get into those accommodations. Even those accommodations, they also prioritize the incoming students, the first semester students. They get, usually all of them get accommodations in the student housings. Apart from that, there are private accommodations, and the prices of those accommodations depends upon, you know, different, I mean, lots of,
Landlords,
yeah,
based on
Okay.
what the area.
yeah, lots of variables are there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your plan after pursuing your master's degree?
My plan is currently, right now, since I'm the first semester, I'll be like, let me be clear about how, my semester, like, the first semester when I came in, my university considered it to be a free semester because a lot of students couldn't join in time, including me. Like, I had to miss a lot of exams, and I could make it to Germany during the exam time. So keeping that into consideration, they did not consider the first semester to be, they did not consider it. So whatever exam you give, even if you don't pass in it, they won't consider that, like, they won't take that into account. So basically, this, you can consider this to be the starting phase of my, like, studying phase in Germany. And right now my main focus is, like, obviously I have my plans, but first is to study my subjects properly, and at the same time gain as much as knowledge from the practical background, like do projects and theses, which is quite far away for me also right now, because first I have to clear the subjects and get a decent score first. And in collaboration, I am doing, like, a part-time job in the university also. And after that, my plan is, I don't want to go into higher studies. My plan is to get into a industry, like an industry which has relevance to my subjects, preferably Siemens. And there are also various other startups here which are really good and are encouraging young students very much. So mine is more of job oriented, to get into the job sector first, after, like, completing my masters.
Okay.
And what about you, Satyaki?
Yeah, so for me, I am sort of now determined to pursue a PhD after my master's completion,
Mhm.
because in Europe, usually like outside India, uh, while doing a PhD, you always get a decent amount of salary. It's not like that. I mean, I don't want to criticize, but
Right.
the fact, like, if you do a PhD in India, you don't get paid much for
Yes.
being a master's student and master's
Mhm.
degree achieved students. So, but here in Germany or in US or Canada, everywhere, like, you get a good amount of salary while doing your PhD. PhD students are not considered as a student. They are considered as employee of the organization, be it an
Correct.
industrial PhD or be it university. So, and here in Germany, the salary of a PhD student does not vary much from a master's student who just graduated and joined some university as a fresher. So the salaries are, more or less same, sometimes even more. So that's why I want to continue my PhD, but I'm not right now sure whether I will continue with the industry which I'm working, where I'm working as a working student, or in my university, because I have some affinity towards music processing as well. And I have done some research assistantship as in the area of music processing, specializing in the area of Indian classical music. And let's see what happens in future.
Nice. Can you name some universities where you can study masters in your respective field? Some good universities.
Okay, so in my field, as this area is known to be the medical valley, none other university comes to my mind other than FAU Erlangen. Like, this is the only university that gives a lot of priority and importance to the innovations related to my domain, and there has been significant amount of progressions when it comes to innovations, internships, projects, and a lot of like industrial collaborations with Siemens. They have got a lot of like advancements in the medical domain. So yeah, this is the only place which I can think of.
Okay. And what about you, Mr. Sataki?
Yeah, so for me, I can say like there is also like no such course specializing in the domain of signal processing all across Germany, but there are certain courses where you can take many signal processing and image processing and AI related courses as well. For example, there is one course available in RWTH Aachen. I don't remember the exact name of that course. Also, if you talk in terms of AI, in that case, like my course, I'm designing it in such a way that it has more modules towards AI. So from that perspective, Saarland is the best university in the domain of AI. And also University of Heidelberg, OVGU Magdeburg, and also RWTH Aachen, as I've already mentioned. TU Dortmund has good courses in that area. And I mean, these are all I can think of right now, but there are lots of universities in these domains which one can find from the DAAD website.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So please tell us about the job searching visa. What's the scenario in Germany about it?
Yeah, so for job seeker visa, so far I know, I'm not sure about this information, so you can check whatever. Like from my knowledge, I can tell it's like uh, if you are a master's student over here or a bachelor student over here, so at the end of your studies, you get usually 1.5 year, like 18 months time period to find a job. Okay.
Okay.
You get a job at that time, then your the company where you get employed, they take the responsibility to get you a blue card. Okay, like after 1 year of your employment. And to find job directly from India, it's very hard actually. The reality is the companies here, they prioritize the people who are graduating from the universities in Germany, because the credibility index towards those universities for these companies is quite higher than someone graduating from Indian universities. So, and also in that case, people have to apply for a job seeker visa from India. I think they have to also show some sort of funding in terms of blocked account for the time period they will search for job. They have to come here, and then they have been, I mean, depends upon what sort of job they are going to do. It sometimes requires German language knowledge as well. So with all those things equipped, they can search for the job, and if they get one. But still, I mean, the company in that way, getting a job is way tougher.
Okay.
So can you tell us about the job market in medical imaging and advanced signal processing?
The job market in this domain is pretty good in the normal situation, but it has been a bit twisted in this time. So I guess, but they are slowly recovering from it. But I cannot tell you exactly because I'm also a student right now and I'm not seeking for a job
Okay.
in the industry. So this is one thing. But what I can see from others, from the seniors, and when it comes to mixing and talking with people, like it is not the same like what used to be, like people who had been working diligently in industries, like take for example Siemens or Fraunhofer. Their like, what do you say, their contract didn't get extended even though they were working pretty good. So I don't know, but even though they were working good, their contract not getting extended is because of the lack of maybe of the situation and financial issues with the company or whatever it is. So right now it is a bit tense, but we are hoping that we are going to overcome it very soon.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you guys tell us about your visa experience?
My visa experience was a bit weird and different because I used to work in Bangalore, and for almost 1.5 1 year, 1 year and some months. And after I came, so I took a transfer to Kolkata mainly because the visa experience here was apparently, I heard, very smooth, and also because getting a visa appointment is much easier in Kolkata compared to Bangalore. Like literally, way there is a hell and heaven difference. So I had all the documents ready and I went there, but the officer was a bit cranky. The visa officer, she was a lady.
Okay.
She asked me very weird questions. She even asked me to tell me the name of the location where I was working. I told her that you can Google it because it's already mentioned in my papers, but she was cross checking with me to like, she was cross checking whether I actually worked there or not. She asked me to tell me the address. When I told her the address, she's asking me the nearest landmark to actually verify whether I had, whether I'm familiar with the place or not at all.
Okay.
That was, and there were a lot of issues, like she forgot to give me the receipt, which is the DD receipt, which is very much mandatory when you go to the consulate again to collect your visa after the approval, after the stamp or stamping the visa. You need to produce the DD receipt. So that was the thing which you forgot to give me also. And I had told you about the visa experience about getting the approval usually takes 4 to 6 weeks, but for me it was more than 2 months because that time, like everything was under lockdown. And in addition to lockdown, they came up with a new excuse about the Amphan cyclone at that time. So
No.
Yeah.
yeah, so at the end of the day, what matters is I got the visa, and
Yes.
so that's what my advice is. You have to be mentally prepared. You cannot just go with a strict mindset that if I know this, you have to be mentally prepared to deal with various kinds of people, and it depends. All depends on the mood of the officer. But getting rejected is not a chance until unless you are a criminal, or yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay. And what about you, Mr. Sattaki?
So for me, everything like was a very smooth experience because I came to Germany in 2019. So as she has told, getting an appointment in Kolkata is very easy. I mean, in my time, it
Okay.
used to be. You call them, I want an appointment tomorrow. You might get it tomorrow as well. So
Oh, wow.
that was the first thing. And also, in my case, the visa officer was very cooperating, very helpful, and he was, usually you have to carry 2 sets of documents as per listed in their website. I carried them in order because I knew people who went before me in visa interview, and the officer, he told me like, you do one thing, I'm arranging the documents and you follow the same order and arrange your set of documents like the other set of documents. But mine was already arranged, so he was very satisfied, and yeah, I mean, it was very easy. Like, it was mostly the paperwork, the papers were all right. So if your papers are all right, I mean, there's no chance that your visa will get rejected. So they do the paperwork, they took my biometrics, and then the officer, he gave me the DD receipt, and like it took around 23 days. Yeah, exactly. I remember it took exactly 23 days to get my visa approval, and then I went to the consulate and got it stamped. Actually depends upon the city where you are going. It depends upon how the city registration office or the Rathaus, how they are operating on your visa. I know some, like, there's a city called Regensburg where people got their visa in 4 days. Okay. And like in big cities like Munich and all, there people, it takes around 30 days to get the visa in regular time, not in corona situation.
Okay.
So that was it. I mean, that was my overall experience.
Wow.
Okay. So, do you guys have any tips for the upcoming students who are aspiring to study in Germany?
Yeah, from my side, the tips would be that first of all, don't just choose a course, or don't just come with the mentality that I have to study somewhere in abroad. First, focus on the area of subject where you want to study. Do you really want to study that subject? I mean, there is no such course branding or university branding. It doesn't matter in which university you are studying. It doesn't matter which course you are studying. What only matters is your interest in that particular subject. So first, explore the fundamental knowledges about that course, and then only choose that course as your master's, because it's not, I mean, a game here. Like studies in Germany, they are actually, I can say from my acquaintance of people in US or Canada, it is way tougher than US or Canada. Like, you have to study more number of courses. The amount of theoretical course load is way more than US or Canada. You have to be, I mean, if you are in the domain of computer science or electrical engineering, you have to be sound. I mean, also in the area of computational engineering, you have to be very sound in mathematics. If you are choosing some course which is related to AI, you have to be strong enough in the area of linear algebra and calculus, and also in statistics. Okay, because and these modules are not elaborately taught in our BTech programs in our country,
Yeah.
except the IITs. So these things you have to keep in mind. Prepare well before you start your first semester over here.
And most importantly, what I feel is that apart from keeping the study perspective into consideration, you should also have, like, you have to be independent here very much. Like, no one is going to provide to you on a plate, like, this is what you have to do. You have to, like, explore on your own. Like, no one is going to spoon feed you here, not just in academics, in studies, but also when it comes to leading your personal life here. Like, at this, balancing your studies and at the same time maintaining your daily habits. So everything you should, if you are just looking into the academics point of view and you come here and you realize that you cannot adapt to the lifestyle here, that is not going to, like, help you, because by the time you take to adapt, maybe it will be high time you realize that I cannot, like, study or cope up with the study pressure or not. So if you have to be very much flexible, dynamic, and adaptable before
Okay.
coming, because I have experience of certain people
Yeah,
here
you have
who
experienced it.
came here and they got into very elite courses, but they couldn't make it to the final part. Like, it was very sad that they had to leave in between because they couldn't adapt to the lifestyle. They couldn't adapt to, like, maybe they just sole perspective was to grab a university, like secure a position, and that's it. They feel that is the end of it. But no, that is the beginning of your fight and journey. Getting an admission is not the end. that is just the beginning of entire journey of your goal. So it's not going to be smooth, but you can make it smooth with your ability to be adaptable. That is what
Yeah.
I can say.
These universities in Germany, they are gonna grill you like hell. That's for sure. But yeah, once you get grilled for like this 2 years or 2.5 years, yeah, they give you the flexibility to finish it according to your convenience. There is no hurry. One should not actually, hurry in finishing masters in 2 years. You can take 2.5 years or 3 years. It only depends upon you. There is no pressure from the university that you have to finish it within a deadline. But yes, once you're done with that grilling, I can bet like you are then a better person from the subject area. Like then your knowledge at that point of time, with that knowledge, you can get any opportunity across the whole globe.
Wow, that's really great.
Wow.
So with this question, we are going to end this video. Thank you very much, Pooja ma'am and Satyaki sir. If you want to tell anything.
Yeah, I would also like to thank you for arranging this session with us so that we could also put forward our opinions and kind of relate to everyone about how about our journeys, about our struggles, and the pros and cons also here, and that
Yeah,
you
students will
provided us
really
the
get
platform.
motivated by your by your journey.
I hope so.
by
I
your
hope so. Like that we could help certain people with your help. Like it wouldn't have been possible with your help. So
Thank
thank
you
you.
very
And
much.
also, I would like to,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
Yes, and I would like to add one last point, that is like gathering the information regarding Germany and doing all your formalities. For this purpose, one educated guy does not require any help from any consultancy who just take lump sum amount of money just for providing some information to
Yes.
you. If you have a working computer with with an internet, you can get all information from there, and you can take invest some time, like a good amount of research, and then it's all done. You have to carry out that independence over here only. So if somebody, some consultancy by taking money spoon feeds these things to you, that won't develop a character for you to survive in Germany.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, that's really a certain thing that people must know. So with this video, we are going to end this video right here. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any question, then please mention it in the comment section below. And I'm going to link the. Can I give your LinkedIn profiles in our description?
yeah,
Sure,
sure.
sure.
Okay, so I will put it in the description. And thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.